aim is, the aim of the Litter Less campaign is to reduce litter and affect long-term behaviour change among global youth. Now, Scotland's not the only country that's doing it. There's 20 countries involved in phase 1, 2011-2014. The amount of students that was involved, 854,000. It's a huge impact on this campaign alone. Now, I know you're thinking, why am I talking about litter and this is waste? But I'm talking about the kind of concept of the campaign, and it's might possibly we could use that model in waste. So I'll go through it and I'll just show you what we've achieved. And litter has an impact in all the topic areas. I always say litter is the core. It's a mandatory topic with eco schools. It's the core, and it affects all the other topic areas. Wrigley, obviously, Wrigley is a chewing gum company, if you're wondering. They sponsor heavily into this. And there's a grant for every successful school that does the campaign. Last year in Scotland, I think we had, I've got stats there, I think we had 25 schools or 24 schools complete the process, and they get £300 for completing it. Okay, it's not life-changing, but it helps to start maybe putting in, implementing resources or whatever. This is how we think Scotland should look like, but in reality, this is what it's like. So, and I thought this was a lovely picture we have down here. That is after this tea park. So I thought, oh, that's a lovely picture. So why litter? Litter is an instant improvement. If kids are picking up litter, you take a before and after picture, job done, tick. Litter's core, which I've just mentioned, is mandatory, and litter helps children have a slight bit of ownership of their school ground. But we want to try and give them a bit of ownership of their community and encourage the community to do a bit better. This was phase 1, the stats from 2013, so there's 24 schools, I was right, that completed the process. Schools based as far up as Keith in Murray, and as west as Castle Bay in Islabara, who participated in it. And the forms of littering they looked at. Now everybody thinks litter, it's a packaging. It's far bigger topic than that. I'm a litter expert now. So some of the schools, obviously most of the schools looked at packaging. Chewing gum and dog filing was also addressed, but we want to expand that. As I say, it's such a big topic, and the schools are just not seen beyond that. You know, just packaging, picking up what's on the ground. Just short of 8,000 children took part, 14 local authorities. It's been a great impact. But we're hoping, as I say, this campaign is going to be slightly different. I'll go into what we achieved, good practices. This was Canberra Primary School in North Lanarkshire. I selected them because they involved the community very well. They created a drama out of this world, and the drama was performed. They invited parents along and they performed this drama, and it was all to do with what damage and throwaway society has on their environment. So they were demonstrating to the community, look what you're doing, make changes. That went down very well, initiative. Now, this school has a lot of challenges, behavioural challenges. So one part of the process of the campaign is community linking. It kind of works on par with the Eco Schools 7-element process, and it's very heavy on community linking. And this school, with a lot of barriers, achieved that very well. We got crafted creations. We communicated with them. Well, they actually, crafted creations came to the school and says, look, we've got an awful lot of litter around our perimeter fences. Is there any way you can help? And they went, yeah, we'll just get a carry the kids, we'll clear the litter, took before and after pictures, we're involved in the community, we're talking to businesses, and they even got cakes at the end of it, cakes and juice. But the kids got an awful lot out of that. It was a very good exercise. This is another school that communicated very well, but not only just in Scotland, they went to Northern Ireland, and they had a lot of communication about I'm having problems with this, how do you resolve that in your country? And they adapted ways of how to sort these problems out. I mean, they've got similar problems, but they had different remedies how to sort it, so they were crossing over all this great practice. So they got an awful lot, and they still communicate with that school from Northern Ireland. Port Letton Academy. Now we're talking about trying to integrate eco-schools, waste into the academies and secondary schools. This school did it excellently. And it was the curriculum. They did it through, it was S7. Teacher went in and said, right, I've got this Wrigley Litter Less campaign to do. I'm just going to tell you, just go out and survey the perimeter of the school and come back to me and see if you can find any problems with it. And they came back and they went, see the entrance of the school? It's all full of chewing gum. What, did you not see that before? No. So actually when they went out to analyse and survey it, they discovered there was a problem. So he says, right, well, what are we going to do? We're just going to leave it? Are you going to sort it? So they actually went and started trawling around the internet, and they got gumdrops. Listen, big gumdrop, it's like the size of a football, and basically they dispose of their chewing gum after they're finished and put it in this ball. It's all recyclable, so there's no other handling, they just take it and recycle it. They also monitored their success as well, the before and after. So they monitored the school, the entrance as they went in, took a picture of it, counted it, whatever, evaluated it. After this, they went, my goodness, what a difference. And it was such a small action, but it was done through the curriculum. A teacher just told them, just go ahead. It was pupil-led. It was a very good initiative, that one. We awarded the Best Initiative Award, and Cambusbarn got it. Cambusbarn Primary School in Stirling. Now they got it. I know at the start we talked about drama, but this school took it one level more than the initial school, and it was to do with dog fouling. Had an awful problem with dog fouling beyond the school perimeter. And when I started at the start, I said, getting the message beyond the school gate, and this school did exactly that. They realised the parks round about, there's a dog fouling problem, how do we address it? So they thought, yeah, we could put posters up, do that. And then let's have some fun aspect to it, so they did the Pooh musical. Now I know it's not unique, but what they did, they created it, put their own language in it, and they invited the community. They got posters up, not only to make them aware of the problem, but they invited them to Pooh the musical. Now the community going, Pooh the musical, what is that? And they got a lot of the community, parents involved, and it's made such a dramatic change. Again, the monitored and evaluated the difference. Huge. Now, after this campaign was over, we sat down and said, right, how can we improve for the next campaign? Now, I'm intrigued. Nobody said, as a challenge or an issue, we've no hard data. How do we know we're making change? And we're having the exact same problem with this campaign, but we're addressing it. And I'll just show you this later. And too many initiatives, as I've said, about just concentrating on packaging and doing, well, in the past when they got the money, they just went round the perimeter or around their school grounds, did a wee litter pick, job done, thanks, £300 cheerio. No, that's not exactly what we want. So, from that, we thought, right, okay, we need to think out the box, how are we going to do this? So, we've encouraged 27 schools to register. We're doing it in a cluster model. Now this is a new thing, fairly new for eco-schools, but Julie's intervention says this is the way we have to go. So the cluster models, the secondary and the feeder schools, trying to encourage them to do it as a one whole community and helping each other and relay the message. We're hoping that will help the secondary aspect of eco-schools not only in the campaign, but any other initiatives we do. And that's what we're going to focus on in the future, is try and have these cluster models. Now, I always think this is the most important: surveying, measuring the success of behaviour change. As I say, how do you know what you're doing if you're not measuring it? Now, FEE, the Foundation of Environmental Education, who administrates the campaign through Wrigley, the sponsor, and they have came up with a survey developed by a professor, and I'm handing it out to schools, to 10 schools and 10 children at the start of the process, and the same 10 at the end of the process. And we're hoping we'll have hard data and behavioural change. Now, it's in pilot stage at the moment, but we're hoping to pan it out in a generic format for all the topics. So this campaign is using as a pilot to hopefully collate this information for the powers that be, government, worldwide. Look what we're doing, what change we've made. So, as I say, it's a very much a pilot stage. But if we have this hard data, the world's our oyster, because we're going to get sponsors, we're going to get people, charities to help us out. Teacher training, I'm developing teacher training on the campaign as well, and it's all to do with the process and the different types of litter, the form of communication, who can you get in contact with. So that's new as well for this campaign, and I think similarly that's what we are developing it for waste, but that's the way to go forward. If the teachers have the knowledge, they're going to be able to pan it out to the children and young people. Now, we have specified specific projects that they have to address for this campaign. Tourist litter, sewage debris project, dead exciting. Adopt a street and school lanes. Now, I know school lanes always is being part of the process, but what we're going to do with school lanes, that's an auditing system for litter. And we're hoping to develop a kind of generic format of it with the help of East Dunbartonshire and South Ayrshire, hopefully, and we can pan that out. But again, we're hoping to do the same with all the topics. So the theme's all there, but we're using this kind of model to help us develop the waste. Adopt a street, that's up in Aberdeenshire. George up there, so he's working with secondary schools for me up there. Tourist litter, Loch Lomond and the Trossachs National Park are helping me with that area, a few schools in there. And the sewage debris project's happening in Fife Council mainly, with the help of Marine Conservation Society and Clyde and Classroom. Now, Clyde and Classroom just came up to us recently. They're about to release their trout, but they realised there's litter and horrible things in the riverways and they can't release them. So now they're having to launch a clearance of the waterways, so we're helping them through different aspects of these project areas.